Welcome everybody. We are going to see OMGPOP, current king of the hill. This is the third challenger, I believe, of the third reign of Star-Crossed Kings. OMGPOP, the king, is going to defend against a very scary challenger. We all know who it is. Jesulin. Jesulin going to try and take on OMGPOP, and we have two surprises this game. I wasn't expecting either of these faction selections. We all know that Jesulin hates U.S. forces. Maybe this patch has shaken things up a little bit. He's going to give that a shot. And I've never seen OMGPOP play Oster, so that is also new. He's going to be giving that a try instead of his normal Oberkommando West. Very interesting faction selections from both of these players. And I'm curious to see how the game's going to go. Jesulin sends his rear echelon troops straight for this cutoff and wires it off with his rear echelon troops before Pop sends any units over there to counter. I don't even think he needs that third piece of wire, so that's probably completely blocked. Grenadiers moving up out of OMGPOP's base. Push those rear echelon troops away. And Pios are doing the exact same thing up here on the fuel point. Rear echelon troops hopping into the house. They're going to make their way towards the strategic point. Riflemen are going to take control of this fuel here. These riflemen taking control of the strategic point right there. Pretty quiet, since they can hop this wall. Wiring that cutoff mostly just interferes with retreat paths. Whereas this wire can also be circumvented by getting inside of this building, so nothing too dramatic yet, just taking control of territory, spreading their forces out a little. Jesulin will move up on some grenadiers here, and they're going to reposition to a longer range. Jesulin will disengage and move to take control of some territory after losing one model. Squads down here disengage from each other as well. Riflemen will take control of the VPs. It looks like early victory point control will go to Jesulin here, maybe. Grenadiers move up to engage these rear echelons once again. They're going to get hot back in the house. Jesulin's third squad of riflemen moving to do some backcapping here in the north before moving to support and engagements.
Under fire! Area is ours.
And victory points are actually going to be stopped, as both of them have managed to secure one victory point, and the center one remains uncontested for now. Rear echelon troops going to make another play for it, though. Grenadiers massing here in the north. Would like to engage those riflemen.
A capture point is under attack. Ground's ours. God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Riflemen engaging these munitions.
The enemy is overrunning
MG42 firing on rear echelon troops there. Grenadiers force those riflemen to retreat. Looks like engagements are going pretty well for OMGPOP there in the north. MG42 is going to reposition. The MG42 received a slight damage boost at long range this patch. Maybe more than slight, actually. Pretty significant damage boost, I think. Haven't actually been paying that much attention to it this game. Maybe we'll see that in action here if some riflemen expose themselves to that. M20 in production from Jesulin, who did field himself a lieutenant.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? A capture point is being overrun. Well,
Grenadiers moving to take control of some territory there in the center. Gonna wrap up capturing the munitions here in the north.
our supply line just got cut off. M20, ready for action.
M20 has been fielded and is making its way towards the front lines. This rifle squad suppressed, is taking heavy damage, will be forced to retreat, but here in the north, Jesulin is successfully harassing the munitions and fuel points. We do have tier 2 constructed by OMGPOP as well, and he's fielding himself a 221, which also got a small buff. Has 40 more health now, so it should be a little bit more durable against the M20's 50 cal. Possibly helping it to escape if it takes a nasty bazooka hit as well. From the M20 crew, so the 222 versus M20 matchup should be a little easier for the Oster now.
We have liberated this sector. We are losing a sector.
222 upgraded on that scout car, forces the lieutenant, wow, into that building. He just got annihilated by that autocannon right there. The way he clumped while he was trying to get into the house just murdered that lieutenant squad. Stood no chance. If he had retreated that lieutenant squad immediately and just taken the nasty retreat path, he probably would have gone better. Ooh, nice bazooka shot from the vehicle crew right there, but it doesn't look like the M20 wants to chase. He would have had to chase straight into some grenadiers with PIO support. I don't know who would have won that engagement, honestly. The 222 was falling quite low, and it probably would have died pre-patch. Look how close it was. 40 health difference, probably quite significant right there. Probably the difference between losing and not losing that scout car. So,
We have a fresh half-track
definitely seeing the changes in action in this game, as subtle as they are.
Capture complete. Contact with the enemy! Contact! They have reach! We have a fresh grenadier squad.
Bazooka connecting with the 222. It's kind of struggling to path to safety with all of these obstacles here. Looks like it's going to be fine. We do have a half-track fielded by OMGPOP. Despite the loss of his lieutenant and rear echelon troops. No, rear echelon troops are inside the M20. Despite the loss of his lieutenant, though, Jesulin still has very strong map control here early in the game. He's going to be able to field himself a major soon.
Stick with me and you
And
might
from
just
there,
make it.
probably a Sherman. And OMGPOP is spending quite a bit of manpower on Grenadiers here. I'm surprised not to see Panzer Grenadiers on this map. Now that he's got tier 2 available on this map, Panzer Grenadiers can engage quite well. There's a pretty good mix of both medium and long range engagements. The Grenadiers are cheaper, but he doesn't have that much munitions in the bank for LMG upgrades, so I guess he just wants the cheaper, longer range squad, doesn't want that much firepower. Maybe for capping power, since most of the south is currently uncontested, if he can get a squad down there to get it under control without diverting any of these forces here in the north, it would be beneficial to him. MG42 just hit Vet 1, he could utilize armor-piercing rounds. And the half-track is available here to reinforce it so it doesn't get overwhelmed by these advancing infantry. Doesn't look like this position is likely to fall here. Jesulin's going to have to take a different approach, retreats that squad, pulls back with his M20, and fields himself some paratroopers. No, a 50 cal. Fields himself a paradrop 50 cal. Interesting. Costs 260 to paradrop and 280 to field out of the building. So with reinforced costs, this is a little bit more expensive. Probably could have just produced it out of his lieutenant tier, but honestly, it doesn't make that much of a difference either way. Bazooka squad here firing on these two units. 50 cal firing on this position will suppress 3 squads, including the MG42. May give Jesulin an opening with his riflemen here in the north. M20 moving up to support the engagement. Paratroopers also being called in. Bazooka squad is going to move to harass the munitions during the course of this engagement. 1 squad of riflemen already forced to retreat. 50 cal isn't doing that great of a job of pinning down these squads over here. 2 squads of Grenadiers still suppressed, but the MG42 unsuppressed. He's actually going to flank around behind the 222 with the bazooka. Nice flanking maneuver there by Jesulin, forcing that thing out of the engagement for now. 50 cal continues to fire on this position, trying to bleed these infantry. Rifle grenade will prompt that 50 cal to retreat. Nice retreat, nice reaction by Jesulin right there on the 50 cal. He still has victory point control, still has a pretty decent map control. With his major on the field, he's getting very close to his first tier 4 unit. And once that hits the field, OMGPOP will be forced to respond in some way. He doesn't currently have any anti-tank really of any kind other than just a lot of Panzerfausts. Haven't seen any Tellermines from him either. Seems to be saving his munitions for something. No LMG upgrades, just 1 Minesweeper and really nothing else as far as munitions expenditures. I think that was major artillery. Forces OMGPOP to reposition his machine gun with major artillery, but other than that, it doesn't do much of anything. Not sure why he would call that in. It's pretty bad. Okay, Jesulin. And a 6th Grenadier squad has been fielded by Pop, and now he's going to go straight into an anti-tank gun.
The enemy is taking our territory.
So the anti-tank gun's a little bit late, but it will be timed just about perfectly for the Sherman hitting the field. Hasn't really felt like he needed it against the M20. The 222 provided just enough anti-light vehicle protection. Major drops artillery again on the half-track / machine gun position here. And as usual, it takes a million years to land. Doesn't even prompt the machine gun to pack up. Does no damage to anything. So 240 munitions now, pretty much just wasted by Jesulin on that terrible artillery strike. I don't know why he keeps doing that. It's so bad. Harassment in the north by this rifle squad to try and take control of this fuel point. These Grenadiers here taking control of a fuel. Strategic point also being taken by these Grenadiers. Jesulin getting into a bit of trouble here. He actually has both munitions points right now, putting him in a pretty good munitions position, other than the fact that he's kind of wasted 240 of his munitions on those artillery strikes. He does have both munitions points, but he's lost both fuel points and needs to try and manage that situation. His Sherman is just now hitting the field, and he's moving up to try and clear out some of these Grenadiers here. AT gun also hits the field just in time to screen that Sherman away. Gets 1 shot off before the Sherman reacts. And Pop is going to secure building control here, force all allied infantry to retreat. 50 cal engaging that MG42, still not accomplishing much. This aggressive push with the half-track machine gun and supporting infantry and the AT gun now is proving very difficult for Jesulin to deal with. He's going to send his M20 to do counter-harassment on the victory point up here. Note that even though Jesulin seems to struggle during engagements, he has had victory point control for the entire game. He's currently up over his opponent by quite a margin. OMGPOP has not fielded a Stugi either, despite picking mechanized assault. He has fielded none of the doctrinal features that he has access to. In fact, ooh, nice pickup by the Sherman right there. Bazooka finishes it off after it gets abandoned. Jesulin has no interest in crewing that. MG42 gets decrewed by LMG fire here. OMGPOP kind of taking a few losses at various locations on the map. Scout car just went down. Machine gun just got decrewed. Jesulin does finally lose victory point control, however, to a harassing squad of Grenadiers here in the south. And a Stug is on the field. Anti-tank gun is well positioned for this push by the Sherman. Sherman will have to pull back away from that engagement. Wow, look how many corpses there are right here. So many machine gun crew members have died in that spot. That is so gruesome. There's just a mass grave. Stug E available to support right here. Should be able to apply a little more anti-infantry pressure to Jesulin, who may feel like he needs to para-drop an AT gun, may feel like he needs to go for a Jackson next. If he does grab a Jackson, I'll be quite curious to see how the changes to it affect its performance against the Stug, against the half-track, for example. It does less damage now. So it might take one more shot to kill a Stug. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with how much health a Stug has.
We are losing a sector.
If it has 400 health, then it still only takes 2 shots. If it has more than 400, then it's 3 shots now. Stug getting pretty aggressive here, going straight into Jesulin's base. Sherman shows up and will scare it away. Sherman plus bazooka brought it below half. Really wants to finish off that Stug somehow, but he can't get an opening. Just took a Panzerfaust and a big anti-tank gun shot. Pop not monitoring that Grenadier squad though. Loses they get gunned down in red cover quick. Stug is trying to fire at these paratroopers, but Rifleman just recovered an LMG-42 and another Grenadier squad almost gets wiped right there. I'm quite surprised Jesulin hasn't fielded himself an anti-tank gun though. He could para-drop one and get this Stug out of his base. It's applying so much pressure to him. Jesulin catches another squad pretty out of position here with 3 riflemen. One of the squads has an LMG. One man remaining has to retreat across red cover. I don't know if it's going to get away. Jesulin's not chasing though. Why would he not chase that? Wow, miracle escape for that Grenadier squad.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Sherman has been fully repaired here in the north. You can get that back into the engagement, get that Stug off his back, it would go a long way. These 2 squads are a little hesitant to retreat right now with that Stug in their retreat path. Anti-tank gun's currently on the move, which could be good, but it looks like Jesulin's going to go for the half-track instead here. He's going to take a Panzerfaust and receive engine damage, but he will destroy the half-track as well. Anti-tank gun is moving to counter here. Depending on the usage of smoke, this engagement could go okay for Jesulin. He sees the AT gun and repositions back to safety behind the house. Needs to be careful. Does have the munitions for smoke, has not deployed it yet. May not be quite sure what he wants to do. His infantry is trying to move to support, but with that Stug right there, problematic situation. Sherman will circle around behind the AT gun. There is no second AT gun, no other anti-tank on the field whatsoever that can save this. It will get decrewed. Sherman should be able to get out of this situation alive. Infantry getting bled hard here. Major forced to retreat. These Grenadiers have a Sherman in their retreat path. Very dicey engagement for both sides. Sherman could go down any second. Full squads of Grenadiers could get wiped any second. Pio is moving up to try and recover that pack. May prove to be a mistake. Oh, maybe not. It switched to armor-piercing shells. What is it doing? Move! The Sherman! Oh no, it's a dead Sherman. I think. I feel like he could have preserved that if he tried. I'm a little slow to react to that situation. We got a lucky main gun destroyed crit, but it just didn't matter. Sherman goes down. His paratroopers have been wiped by the Stug. All of his infantry taking huge damage. It looks like OMGPOP is going to take this engagement, but only by a hair. Look how close Pop was to losing everything he had. With his half-track dead, he cannot reinforce in the field and will be forced off for now, but a Tiger just hit the field. Jesulin does not really seem to have any counter to this. Doesn't have the manpower to para-drop an AT gun. Just dropped the last remains of his fuel and manpower on a new Sherman. So with no Jackson, gonna be in trouble. Full squad of riflemen just got wiped here on the South Munitions. That Stug has 20 kills. Another squad about to get wiped right there just by the machine gun. There you go, long-range accuracy. That long-range accuracy buff. Pre-patch, maybe that squad would have gotten away, I don't know. Machine gun's a little more scary now. Not looking good for Jesulin here. Down to only 2 squads of infantry, one of which is a vehicle crew. And it's his M20. Jesulin canceled his Sherman, probably because he knows he needs a Jackson to be able to threaten this Tiger. Which should be a little bit more reliable against Tigers now. It's going to take a long time for that thing to hit the field though. In the meantime, Jesulin just doesn't have anything. OMGPOP had to spend a lot of manpower on the Tiger plus reinforcement. Now that he's done so and exhausted all manpower reserves, has a pretty healthy army making its way back to the front line to support his Tiger, in addition to a fully reinforced anti-tank gun here. Pop just taking control of the cutoffs, shutting his opponent down everywhere. Pop is very soon going to start ticking against Jesulin. I don't think he's going to be able to maintain control of this victory point with just one bazooka squad. Jackson is on the field.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And paratroopers are being dropped now. Somewhere. Directly on the center point. There's a 50 cal pointed straight at it. That's going to be forced to retreat. Jackson is looking around for the Stug, I think, which has repositioned way back here. Jackson takes a Panzerfaust and an anti-tank gun shot. It's probably going to be destroyed if that Tiger decides to hunt it down. Rifleman here, pinned down by the 50 cal. No engagements anywhere going in Jesulin's favor. He knows he's not going to be able to make this work. And that's the end of Game 1. OMGPOP takes it. Short break and we'll jump into Game 2.